right?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hello, hello. I always think that we start sooner than we actually do. That's just how excited I am for this streaming show.
We can't wait.
On a Tuesday, 2 o'clock. Yeah, write that on your calendar. Every Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Tuesday at 2, Thursday at 1.
With two... I try to keep it rhyming.
Oh, jeez. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to Weather and Whatever on this Tuesday afternoon post-storm. We had an interesting forecast yesterday.
Oh my gosh. We're going to have to talk about that. I was sitting in my apartment, and all of a sudden, I just hear this noise. And I'm like, was there a car crash outside of my apartment? No. The rain was coming down very aggressively.
Oh, yeah.
The sky went gray, went dark. The sun disappeared.
It was like night and day because yesterday we started off the day nice and sunny and jolly. It was a warm one, and then all of a sudden, boom chakalaka. We had a big storm roll through. I believe we were also under a severe thunderstorm warning. I can recall I was walking my dog, and I should have known, but when I'm clocked out, I'm clocked out, okay? So I was walking my dog. This must have been after 5:30 p.m. And then, you saw the clouds rolling in, and it started to spill the sprinkles. And I'm like, uh-oh. All right, Stella, my dog's name. Time to dilly-dally back into the house.
Back home.
We didn't make it back in time because all of a sudden we just had the downpour of rain. The winds, I thought it was going to Kansas. We were in the Wizard of Oz.
Oh my gosh.
It felt like that. Me and Toto, except it was Stella.
Oh.
But yeah, that was a pretty intense, fast-moving storm that hit us here in the valley.
Yeah, enough to kind of capture some rain totals too, which I know we'll talk about.
Oh yeah. But it's like again, night and day. Today was a different situation. It was a little bit cloudy earlier today, I'll say. Not too bad.
I got to work at 8:30 this morning. Well, that's when I started work, and I was walking out of the car to the station, and there was that smell. Smell outside where it smells like it had rained recently.
Oh yeah.
Which was not off-putting, but it's a surprise to smell.
I think the last time you told me you're not a fan of the smell.
I'm not. But the last time I smelled that scent was during the monsoon.
That's true.
Months ago. So
I
know.
It
was a little weird to smell that this morning.
And you know what? We will be in monsoon season before we know it.
Before we know it.
I know we're already starting to plan the weather team here, what we're going to be doing as far as our next segment goes for the monsoon season, but we're going to be getting there. And yesterday, it's like almost reminiscing of what was. And
what could have been.
What could have been, and also what could have been with the nice weather, because that's going to be long gone. Extreme heat is on the way.
It's closer than we know, because we have a high potential, or a potential of very high temperatures.
Don't say it.
Coming sooner than anticipated, which we will get to.
I think we should get to your forecast.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Give you the appetizer of the full course meal of your forecast on a Tuesday.
And of course, let us know where you're watching from. Say hi. Let us know what the weather looks like, and we'll do our best to address them. But the weather portion, let's get to it.
There you go.
Okay, taking a live look outside of our Fox Vision camera in downtown Phoenix. This looks a little different. This camera normally shows clear skies when Ashley and I do our show, but right now, lots of clouds in the sky. So a good indicator that we saw some disturbances last night. That's why we saw that rain, of course, that we were just talking about. But it still looks quite nice outside. Rain totals from yesterday. I'm so glad you pulled this graphic up. Phoenix, we just clocked a little bit, but I want to point out our areas southeast and east. Safford got almost 1/4 of an inch of rain yesterday, so a lot of rain down that way. Tucson got over 1/4 of an inch of rain. Wow, hi Tucson. And then Nogales and Douglas also picked up some rain amounts. Phoenix, not too much, but it was something.
Enough to be noticeable, we'll say that.
Enough to be noticeable, enough to be picked up on those measurements. I know that those rain totals are taken from Sky Harbor International Airport, so, I mean, look at that. We also got some rain up in Payson, almost 1/20 of an inch up that way. And Sedona and Flagstaff got some rain too. So kind of all over the place for those rain totals. But I can say that we're not expecting to see a lot of that anymore as we head into the rest of the week. In terms of planning your day today, your Tuesday afternoon, today we're looking at a temperature of 75 degrees. Once we hit 7 p.m., we're going to dip down into the lower 70s, so 73 at that time. And then, of course, 11 p.m., the sun will be down. We're seeing a temp of 67 degrees. And then tonight we are going to cool down to the upper 50s. 57 is what we're seeing here in Phoenix. You know, I don't know about you, Ashley, but I like to do a little walk after work around the 6 p.m. hour. And if we're seeing the low to mid 70s, I'm probably going to grab a light jacket.
Yeah.
Probably going to grab a light jacket.
It's going to be a real nice day today, especially in comparison to what we had the last couple of days.
Yeah.
We were talking about just a roller coaster with those temperatures, cooling down, warming up, dropping down again for today. And then you will be seeing your full forecast that we got a big change when it comes to those temperatures. So stay tuned for that.
And if you don't know what it is, get excited. Or don't. It's crazy. Right now for the temperatures across the state of Arizona, Yuma, we're seeing a temp of 77 degrees, Gila Bend, 75. Warmer, as it always is, up in Lake Havasu, 79 right now. We're also seeing that same temperature in Bullhead City. As we branch out to northern Arizona, we're seeing temperatures in the mid-50s into the 60s. 63 in Sedona right now, 60 in Prescott. Warmer up in Kingman at 67. The Grand Canyon sits at 58 right now, 68 in Page. Our friend Trey's watching. I know Trey commented. I will bring up the comments here in just a minute. A little cooler to areas east such as Show Low, and then of course down south, southern Arizona, Casa Grande sits at 68 degrees right now. Tucson, a cool 61. And I do want to point out that temperature change because Tucson and Phoenix are normally kind of close, but the fact that we're that much cooler in Tucson, I think just goes to show that the eastern and southeastern parts of the state are still seeing those remnants of the cooler temperatures. Only 56 degrees right now in Nogales and 53 in Douglas. So pretty cool temps right now. And I know right now not only are we tracking some slightly cooler temperatures, but we're also tracking some decent wind speeds right now. Phoenix, we're seeing wind speeds of 5 miles per hour, but say you're driving down east, driving down to Tucson, be careful of some things that are blowing around on the I-10 because Casa Grande is seeing those 12 mile per hour wind speeds, and that does continue into Tucson. If you're heading way east, southeast, such as Safford, if you're in Graham or Greenlee County, definitely tie up anything in your front and back lawns, patios, because 20 mile per hour wind speeds are being picked up down that way. Show Low, same thing. Areas east, we're seeing 14 mile per hour wind speeds in Show Low, 13 in Payson, and then in Prescott, 10 mile per hour wind speeds. It's looking very, very windy. I think our windiest spot across the state right now, in addition to Safford, is going to be up in Prescott, or up in Kingman, I'm sorry. 20 mile per hour wind speeds that way. But there's just your bite for your full forecast. It's kind of cool right now, pretty kind of windy, but of course, hang tight because we have a very fun full forecast coming up here, which Ashley's going to get to.
That's right.
Should we shout out the chat? Should we read some comments?
I think we should shout out the chat. What's the chat saying?
There's a lot of you guys in the chat, so
it should chat about.
Thank you for saying hi. Oh, we have Trey. He says, hello, everyone. It is currently partially cloudy and 72 degrees. Ooh, up in Page, the wind is blowing to the east at 17 miles per hour with gusts up to 23 miles per hour. Thank you, Trey. So yeah, just emphasizing that up in northern Arizona, those wind speeds are pretty strong right now. Oh, our lovely producer, Abby Kosak, says it's her favorite time of the day.
Hi, Abby.
Hi,
also,
Abby.
Happy belated birthday to Abby.
Yes.
Our lovely producer who is doing such a great job. I was about to say kicking A, but that too.
Yes.
Yes.
We love Abby. Thank you, Abby. Oh, it's always fun when you and I get a viewer from outside of Arizona.
Okay, where is it? China, Germany, where?
Johnny Rep says he is joining from the UK.
Oh, wow. Get
and
out of here.
In the UK, he says it is windy and wet. Johnny, thanks for joining.
Wow. Johnny, how did you find? I always want to know, how do these people find us? We are international queens right now.
Well,
okay?
It's like when we had someone from Germany last episode.
Gosh.
We're like, where did you come from?
From the United Kingdom.
Yes.
And who is this?
Johnny Rep.
Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny.
How is life out there in the UK?
Let us know.
Wow.
That is so exciting.
Look at that.
Louis Gonzalez, he says, hello, lovely ladies. Hello, Louis.
Hello,
We're
lovely
so happy.
Louis.
Lovely Louis, yes. We're so happy you're joining. He joins us from the town of Pima, and he says it is 64 degrees, partially cloudy and breezy in the town of Pima.
Yeah, definitely breezy for sure. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, hope you're being safe out there. Thanks for joining. Jared of Sonora, I know he joins us from Peoria, and he says the clouds are incredible today. Yes, we saw in that first look at our downtown Phoenix camera, the clouds looked very nice. Let's see. Oh, I like Jared's second comment. He says, this is our calm before the storm, parentheses heat, here in Arizona, LOL.
Kind of storm. Yeah, that's right. You know, I was doing a makeup in the makeup room, and our news director, Steve, he walked past and he was saying how he really enjoyed the change of pace in the forecast. You know, just something a little bit different, right? Because we've just been so warm and dry, and usually this winter so far, and to get that moisture that we haven't had in so long, it was nice. You know, you feel it in the air, you smell it for sure.
Yes.
And it was nice to witness just a little bit of a change before we start to see a rinse and repeat of the same thing of very hot temperatures. And the heat so far this year, that has definitely been a topic of discussion, and as we enter this month of March, it's already off to a very warm start. So we're definitely going to be talking about that in your full weather forecast with just about a minute or so before we head into our break. But let's talk about what's happening on Tuesday.
I know. One more comment I wanted to point out. This is from Louis Gonzalez, who joins from the town of Pima. We love when you guys share what you're seeing from your part of town, your part of the state. He says the wind has been bad over here. Last night, there was a lot of small branches all over his yard.
Yeah. Those are some pretty strong
windy
winds.
Conditions. I know, just as you guys saw here, we're still seeing some of those wind speeds right now. But, of course, the first weather forecast you saw, the weather is not going to stay the same. So we hope you guys can stick around for the second forecast, our full forecast here in just a few seconds.
I know.
Yeah.
We're going to be catching up into your break in just a bit. Of course, I'm pretty sure we'll have some time to talk about some whatever. I know it's been a while just because we had so many different weather situations.
So much weather to talk about.
We got a lot of fun stories. Tell us what you would like us to talk about. Any fun stories in your life or any fun topics as well that you would like for us to touch upon. But before we do that, we will be heading into just a very quick commercial break in the next couple of seconds. So definitely stand by for that full forecast coming up.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in about 10 seconds. I'm like, okay, are we cool? Can we go to break?
Normally,
Dave, someone, hello? Yeah, okay.
See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
We are back. after that break that we were just waiting to happen for.
And then it flew by.
It flew by for sure, folks. Again, if you're just tuning in, here we are, another segment of Weather and Whatever on a Tuesday at 2 with your two besties. How about it, folks?
Yay.
So we talked about the first forecast and those conditions right now.
Yes.
Not too bad. Feeling
Not too bad.
considerably cooler, especially the roller coaster of those temperatures. That's just the saying that I've been saying is just the roller coaster of temperatures. But of course, we've been highlighting and previewing some changes. So let's just break it down for you and see what we have for the rest of this week. All right. Starting with your headlines, here's what's happening across the state of Arizona. So we had that low pressure system push through, and that brought us some lingering showers, at least still for this morning. Yesterday evening, we certainly had a showery situation for a lot of us, even here in the valley. That is starting to diminish. What's left over are those gusty winds and even some cloud cover, and of course, the cooler temperatures. I have that highlighted right there for you. Now, after the cool down, we got a ridge of high pressure that's going to be amplifying, and this is going to allow for late week record warmth. Yes, yet again, we are breaking some more records. How about that? The year of 2026 off to a warm starts. Here's a look at what we're hitting for today. So not too high. This is roughly about average for us here in Phoenix. 75 degrees and partly sunny. We've had some sun kind of creep through those clouds. 77 towards the Gila Bend. 66 in Safford, we got 59 in Flag, 66 in Sedona, and for our friends in the Grand Canyon, 58 degrees. Tonight, temperatures are also going to be feeling a little bit cooler with 57 here in Phoenix. We have 50s in Casa Grande, 34 in Flag, Page at 57, Kingman at 48. 47, I should say, towards Page, 37 for our friends out in St. John's. And you can see right now, Fox Vision is showing, again, some lingering showers across portions of southeastern Arizona into New Mexico as well, widely scattered in nature. You can see for the rest of the state that it does include us here in the valley. We're looking at a drier weather situation. You can already see those showers starting to fizzle out. You can see for areas near Wilcox, I should say, along the 10. So we're certainly going to be seeing a drier weather situation with this big ridge of high pressure that's going to be amplifying, and moisture is actually going to be exiting further east. You can see right there with our futurecast the rest of tonight into the overnight hours of Wednesday, middle of the week Wednesday, already getting there. Sunshine and clear skies, dry, not a drop of rain or snow for the next several days, and for the rest of this week for that matter, under changing weather conditions. And we're highlighting that low pushing further east, and now coming towards us will be multiple ridges pushing through. Now we got our first one that's going to begin for tomorrow, and then another stronger one heading into late weekend, that's Sunday, into next week. And that is going to be bringing us the potential of the return of triple-digit temperatures, which is not normal for this time of the year. This is way too early for us, and we'll talk about how early we usually have those triple digits in the forecast coming up in just a bit. We highlighted some records that could be potentially broken, and you can see right here for the next several days beginning on Thursday through Monday. So this is when we are seeing and feeling the return of nothing but 90s. Yeah, consecutive days. How about it? Thursday, we're looking at a high of around 91 degrees with a record at 94. Friday looks as though we have the potential of breaking a record. Saturday, getting close to it. Sunday could be a record day. And Monday, getting close to that as well. But right now, it seems as though Friday and Sunday will be our best chances for breaking some records here in the forecast. So we're getting into record-breaking territory. Be prepared for that big leap in those temperatures, because we've had a lot of different weather situations where the temperatures have dropped down, and that definitely changes a lot of things for folks when it comes to outdoor activities, allergies as well. So just be prepared for what's to come. And we have it highlighted here for you, that 10-day forecast. Today, take advantage, folks. Today will be the last near average day for us. The nicest day in the forecast, I'll say. Oh, Wednesday's pretty nice too. 75 degrees, mostly sunny, clear skies for your Wednesday at 84 degrees. Looks as though that will be the last day of anticipating some 80s, because moving forward, the return of those 90s beginning Thursday. Each day moving forward will jump a couple of degrees, so that potentially next week, it looks as though next Wednesday, the models are showing triple-digit temperatures. Yikes. Ooh. And those overnight lows, in turn, as we all know, are going to be feeling warmer as well. Upper 60s and low 70s. So, again, take advantage of the forecast that we have moving forward. Or, unless you like the heat. Some people really love the heat. So, whatever you like, definitely just be prepared for it. So, 100 degrees. So, the average first 100-degree day is usually on May 2nd. Right now it's March 10th. We're starting to feel those above average temperatures. So the earliest we've had a 100-degree day was on March 26th. So this could also break a record as well for some of the earliest 100-degree days that we are reaching here in the valley as well. So we're not done with breaking those records. We had the warmest winter on record, the warmest February on record, and now we got more record-breaking temperatures, and it looks as though we're going to be breaking that 1988 record of the earliest day of receiving those triple-digit temperatures as well.
I mean, the fact that that record was set at the very end of March, and it is the first week of March, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Also, 1988, obviously we weren't here for that, but shout out to 1988.
What was going on?
That was all the good music, I'll tell you that much.
Very true.
That, just looking back at, records being broken, especially for the month of February, a lot of those records I noticed were set back in 1988. So that just indicates that 1988 was definitely one for the books. And it looks as though we're not only repeating ourselves here in 2026, but even getting ahead of ourselves when it comes to the records that were set back in the 80s. It was a hot one back then, 1988.
Wow.
Maybe another hot one.
Another hot one. The hot weather is coming up. I did want to pivot over to some potentially deadly weather. I know we've spent a very long time talking about just the really nice weather we're experiencing here in Arizona.
Yeah.
But Ashley, if you're able to bring up either a further out radar or any of the warnings, we'll toss back to that here in a few minutes. But if you are watching or you have any family over in the Midwest, in those states that start with an I, for example, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana, we're seeing some tornado watches. So we're going to toss to that super quickly. Taking a look at what our Fox weather reporters are saying, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a tornado watch for the very broad areas in the Midwest. This includes northern and central Illinois, northwest Indiana, and parts of Iowa, and that's going to be valid until 11 p.m. Central Time tonight. So this watch comes as a storm system makes its way through, and it's colliding with, of course, the unseasonably warm and humid air masses in that region, creating just a very big atmosphere for potentials of tornadoes. Serious threats up to level 4 out of 5 for those severe storms are in the 2 states of Illinois into Indiana. So, of course, if you have family that way, if you're joining us from that way, just be careful because this weather, of course, can turn deadly.
Yeah, you can see that
awesome.
tornado
Thank
watch,
you.
at least until 11 p.m. And it looks as though we also have one in the state of Texas as well.
Geez.
That's looking to expire about an hour earlier out there for 10 p.m. Texas also has had quite the weather situation when it comes to those tornadoes and just severe storms that have been rolling through. So, Isabella, thank you for that.
Of course, yeah, just with the threat of strong tornadoes, also the risk of giant hail. I know Texas experienced that just a couple months ago, and again, dangerous, deadly. So just thinking of the people who are in that way, hopefully you're okay, you're hunkering down, because of course this weather with this supercell and the tornado warnings and watches in place, deadly weather. Yeah. So hopefully, if you're joining from that way, everything all right.
And I think it's also if we could just leave that up real quick.
Yeah.
We're also seeing an atmospheric river that's going to be impacting the Pacific Northwest as well. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit closer. Let's see. It's a little bit hard here when I have my laptop, but we also have...
No, it's okay.
So the Pacific Northwest, they've been dealing with a little bit of above average when it comes to winter conditions. Sorry, folks, I can't zoom in into my camera, but across the northern Cascades, it looks as though we have a blizzard warning out there. So if you have folks, families doing any travel out there in that direction, it's been a long time since we've had that happen out there. So just a lot of different weather situations, especially towards the Cascades. Up north, it looks as though we're seeing a lot of activity when it comes to the winds. We got some rain and snow, tornadoes. We've had some red flag warnings as well towards Colorado. So just a lot of severe weather outside of our criteria here in Arizona.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that, Ashley, because I did just take a peek at my phone because my family lives in King County, Washington. I have my alerts on my phone for home as well, and the National Weather Service just issued a wind advisory for my hometown. And that's going to be in effect for the next 2 hours. And just as you mentioned, up in the Pacific Northwest, we're seeing blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings, high wind warnings, winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, and flood watches in place. So
big atmospheric river right there.
Yeah. So while we have been blessed to talk about cool, you may say comfortable weather, and then of course warmer temperatures on the way, a lot of other places across the country, whether it be the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest, Texas, they are seeing, much more dangerous, potentially deadly weather. So,
look at that.
Great insight to what we're seeing all across the country today.
Oh yeah, look at that. So, and that's always important to know because we have a lot of kind of transplants here. We got a lot of snowbirds doing any traveling, heading back now that they see those triple digits, they're like sayonara. So always important that we highlight elsewhere what's happening across the nation. Sorry, folks, if I'm giving you a headache. I'm trying to zoom out. We can go back, but again, important to highlight. So thank you, Isabella, for bringing that up. What else is happening across the nation.
Yeah, Louis Gonzalez says prayers for all that are in the watch areas. Absolutely. Jared of Sonora, I know he is a big fan of the storms. He is in the comments and he says that there's a huge weather supercell in Illinois, so he's been watching that as well. He says, let's get a taste of that crazy weather. Yeah, we're not seeing crazy weather here besides the fact that we might hit triple digits next week.
Yeah, that's our kind of crazy here in Arizona State, USA, in the desert. Oh man, is it already time to end the show?
20 seconds left.
Wow. Okay, folks. Well, thanks so much for tuning in on a Tuesday here on Weather and Whatever. Very weather heavy, of course. The weather never stops, whether it's here in Arizona or elsewhere around us. So we'll be back on Thursday for another edition of Weather and Whatever. See ya.
everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Great American Story. We are continuing the life story of one of the most fascinating people, man or woman, in American history. I'm here with John Netzel. He is the creator of The Great American Story. John, I'm telling you, I just can't stop digging into the story of Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through. And you're right. She was probably the most famous person maybe in the world at the time.
Yep.
Breaking all these records in her airplane. And you just peel back the layers and there's more and there's more. And you learn these little fascinating details. Like, you're right. I mean, it's really amazing. But yes, part 2 of Amelia, an American original. And we've never done 3 parts.
We haven't.
But this one is our exception.
I told John when we were first meeting about this, I said, I could see 5 parts.
Yeah, right?
He's like, well, we probably should whittle that down. But anyway, in our last episode, she had already made a name for herself by reaching the previously unbelievable altitude of 14,000 feet.
In 1922, correct?
Yep, in California.
That's
but
right.
then she had sold her plane, the Canary, in California, and couldn't figure out a way to make a lot of money with it and moved back to Boston to pursue a career in social work. But then everything in the world changed when a man named Charles Lindbergh suddenly made headlines around the world with a flight across the Atlantic.
Yeah, and it would be 5 years to the day that she would be the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. She would first do it as a passenger.
Right.
But I'm glad you brought up Charles Lindbergh because, Amelia Earhart's referred to Lady Lindy. Yeah. That's kind of her nickname. And I was curious, where did that come from? And obviously, came from Charles Lindbergh's fame and popularity, rising popularity. But it was also, I found this interesting, it was because they kind of looked alike.
Yes, I think that was actually one of the criteria.
That was hysterical.
So there's this woman named Amy Guest, who herself was an aviation fanatic and was wealthy and wanted to maybe see if she could duplicate the flight, but her family talked her out of it. But she said, okay, well, I got all this money. I got to find a woman who can do this. That led her to George Putnam, the publisher. And then, of course, there's this love affair going on between Putnam and Amelia Earhart. He had to ask her 6 different times if she'd ever marry. Imagine getting 5 no's and keep coming back over and over again.
Persistence.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, finally then in 1928, they found Amelia. They had that flight where they took off from Newfoundland and landed in Wales.
Yes.
And it was at that point that she met her first president, who was Calvin Coolidge.
Oh, okay.
And she already then became a sensation around the world. But that was really the launching pad. Everything that happened in the 1920s